Hey guys, thanks for watching the channel. This is the Windows Champ. I'm going to take you guys through a very quick run through of Windows 10 IoT Enterprise LTSC versus Windows 10 Pro. This is a very common question I get in comparison or questioning whether a customer should use Pro versus IoT LTSC. We're going to cover the reasons why. So if you're an OEM and you're building a dedicated appliance of any kind from any of these industries, you should be using IoT Enterprise, and we'll talk about the reasons why. If you're building a general use computer, that's when you would be using the regular Windows 10 Home and Windows 10 Pro. So a general purpose application, general use computer, that's just an everyday computer used for whatever you want. Customer loads and installs whatever they want. You put Windows on there, you sell it. You don't really care what happens at that point. But if you're an OEM and you're building a dedicated application or a dedicated purpose device, marketing it, selling it, it is a dedicated function. You need to be using Windows IoT. That's the reason Microsoft has the two channels. What we have is a lot of customers who tend to, or OEMs, customers that use use Pro when they should be using IoT. Now, in a comparison with the chart here, IoT is for dedicated appliance. Physical license is tied against the physical computer. You get the best pricing because there are 3 price tiers based on the processor that's in that device. Long life cycle and a very long 10-year support cycle. In comparison, Windows 10 Pro falls under the SAC service channel. It's general use, tied to the computer, average pricing, short life cycle, and a very short 18 to 30 month support window. So I'm going to show you what happens in scenarios where people use Pro on appliances when they should have used IoT. So we've all seen these in the real world. You walk up to a kiosk and it's not functioning, it has an error message, and whether it is the situation where the BIOS had an issue or the system crashed, in many cases you can control that with IoT where you cannot with Windows 10 Pro. And this is kind of a funny one here. It was a refrigerator that runs Windows 10, and they use the wrong version, so you get a Windows update while you're trying to get your ice water. A newscast, a weathercast, where she was giving a weather report. She got the pop-up message behind her. If her system had been dedicated to weather forecasting and had IoT LTSC, that she would not have received that message on the screen. So the thing to point out here is with IoT LTSC, you get control over Windows updates, and you can prevent them from coming down and doing something with your device. If we take a direct comparison with Pro on the left, Enterprise, IoT Enterprise on the right, Pro falls under the semi-annual channel service channel, which means you get less control of Windows updates. You get new features forced down to your system. You get a very short 18-month support window. 18 to 30 months, depending on which build you're on. You get less features, short life cycle. It's more expensive, and you have to deal with multiple keys. In comparison, if you're an OEM, you want IoT Enterprise LTSC, you want the long-term service channel. You get full control over Windows updates, no new builds, no new features. You get 10 years of support on your device. You also get the enterprise features, which I'll show in just a second. You get a long life cycle, and the product is less expensive. On top of getting all of those additional things, it's less expensive and a single key. So those enterprise features I just mentioned, that gives you the ability to control the device, extremely important for an IoT appliance. You get App Locker, Unified Write Filter, Assigned Access, Shell Launcher, Unbranded Screens, additional group policies and management capabilities, Credential Guard, Device Guard, and Controlled Boot, all features that help you control your appliance, and you get none of those with Windows 10 Pro. And if we do a quick comparison of the builds with SAC versus LTSC, now keep in mind, the top numbers here are Windows 10 Pro. There are currently 9 versions of Windows 10 Pro right now. And you have to understand when the support dates start and end for each of those builds. And not only that, you're going to be forced to the newer builds because you can't control that with your device. So when you go to load your device, you're going to have to understand which build am I going to load and how long do I have before the support ends on that build. In comparison, long-term service branch, which changed to long-term service channel, only has 3 versions, and you get 10 years of support on those. Super easy decision to make. Definitely got to go with IoT LTSC. And a quick recap, dedicated appliances, you absolutely should not be using Pro. You should be using IoT LTSC. 10 years of support, 10 years of life, maximum features, full control of the device. And on top of all of that, you get a single key and it's less expensive. So go with IoT Enterprise. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure and reach out to us. We can get all of your licensing questions and get you a price quote here at Arrow. Thank you.